Fate is nothing more than an excuse for inaction. Yes, there may be certain events or circumstances that seem predetermined, but it is our actions and choices that ultimately shape the course of our adventure. We are not mere pawns in some greater game, yet we are powerful heroes with the ability to change the world around us. We will undoubtedly face dangers and challenges on our journey, but it is not any predetermined fate that will hold us back. Together, we will forge our own path and redefine our fates through our courage, determination, wit, and strength. Together, we will prove that fate is nothing more than a fiction, and that the true power lies in our own hands. The cursed soul known as Balathon, possessed by the power of the death god, the Raven Queen, stood upon the ocean floor, the darkness and cold seeping into his bones. He clutched the lifeless body of the long-dead Baldir in his arms. The death god's power flowed through him as he began to chant an ancient incantation, a forbidden ritual that would bring Baldir back to life. As the paladin spoke the words, the ocean around him began to churn and boil. The very fabric of reality seemed to warp and twist, as if the death god's power was too great for this world to contain. And then, with a sudden burst of light and energy, Baldir's body convulsed and he drew in a ragged breath. But the paladin knew this was not a true resurrection. The elven ranger was now beholden to the death god, his soul forever bound to the deity's will. And as Baldir rose to his feet, his eyes now glowing with a sinister power, the paladin knew that he had unleashed a terrible force upon the world. Balathon's curse was now Baldir's curse, and they were both bound to the Raven Queen's will. Deep within his ancient realm, the dragon Cronepsis watches the various worlds through numerous sand hourglasses. The grains of sand represent the threads of fate, the destinies of all living things that have been, are, and will be. But there is one thread that does not belong, one that stands out. It is the thread of a human named Ferrandis, a human who was once a dragon, but betrayed all of dragonkind and now walks among mortals. Cronepsis watches as Ferrandis goes about his days, performing deeds that should not be possible for one of his kind. The dragon sees how Ferrandis' action rippled through the threads of fate, causing them to twist and turn in ways unseen. The ancient dragon is disturbed by this anomaly. Cronepsis knows that he must find out how and why this human who was once a dragon exists, and what role he plays in the grand scheme of things. The city of Sigil, also known as the Cage, is a bustling metropolis filled with danger and opportunity at every turn. Amidst the chaos, a powerful thieves guild known as the Hand rules the criminal underworld with an iron fist. The leader of this guild is a mysterious, disembodied hand said to possess dark powers and a vast network of informants and thugs. Recently, the Hand has put out a search for a one-handed half-elf named Nevik. Thieves and cutthroats of the guild have been scouring the city, turning over every stone in the search for the elusive Nevik. Some say he is a skilled thief, others claim he is a member of a rival guild, but all agree that whoever finds Nevik will be handsomely rewarded by the Hand. The streets of Sigil are now filled with the Hand's underlings, all searching for Nevik. They are asking around, bribing, and threatening anyone who might have information about him. Some say they have seen Nevik in the High Ward, others claim he's hiding in the Lower Ward, but so far, no one has been able to produce the one-handed half-elf known as Nevik. Elsewhere, in a dark and misty realm, a place where the Abashi, a powerful and ancient race of dragon-like creatures, gather en masse around a large stone table. The air is thick with tension as the leader of the Abashi, the mighty Zoltar, speaks. My fellow Abashi, the time has come for us to take action. As you all know, the orc, Gargak, said to be the Dragon King, he who is destined to bring the second age of dragons to this realm, has yet to be found. We cannot allow this to happen. The Abashi murmur among themselves, some nodding in agreement, while others look skeptical. Zoltar continues. Gargak must be captured and killed before he can fulfill his destiny. We have received word that he is currently wandering the Outlands, lost. This is our chance to strike. One of the Abashi speaks up. But Zoltar, if Gargak is truly the Dragon King, should we not let him fulfill his destiny? Perhaps this second age of dragons will benefit us all. Zoltar narrows his eyes as he replies, "No, the risk is too great. We cannot trust in destiny. We must take control of our own future and eliminate this threat to our rule. We will gather our strongest warriors and strike now, while Gargak is vulnerable. Are you with me?" The Abashi roar in agreement, their eyes alight with fierce determination. The grand sea elf city of Elvendor was a marvel of engineering and magic. Built on the ocean floor deep in the Underdark, it was a shining metropolis of spires and domes crafted from the finest coral and mother of pearl. The sea elves that had lived there for generations, in harmony with the oceans and all of its inhabitants. But all of that changed when an army of undead led by two powerful warriors descended upon the city. The sea elves fought bravely to defend their home, but they were no match for the relentless hordes of undead creatures. The once beautiful city was quickly laid to waste as the undead swarmed through the streets. Slaughtering everything in their path, the spires and domes crumbled under the onslaught, sending debris raining down to the sands of the ocean floor. The streets were choked with the dead and dying, and the water was stained red with blood. The sea elves fought until the end, but it was a losing battle. The two warriors stood victorious, surveying the destruction they had wrought. The once grand city of Elvendor was now nothing more than a graveyard, the final resting place for the sea elves who had called it home. The survivors of the city, now nothing more than a few dozen, left mourning their lost loved ones and their homes. We look upon a grand chamber deep within the caverns of the Underdark. The chamber is dimly lit by glowing mushrooms, and the walls are adorned with intricate carvings of spider figures. At the center of the chamber, a female drow guard stands before a court of nobles, her head held high despite the accusatory glares of her peers. The leader of the court, a matron, speaks in a cold and commanding voice. "God, you stand accused of allowing a human under your watch to escape. Explain yourself." The guard, a secret taker, remains stoic as she replies. "The human was not just a prisoner, but also an important source of information. I deemed it necessary to allow him to escape, in order to gather more valuable intelligence for the benefit of our city." The matron narrowing her eyes. "You deemed it necessary? You overstepped your authority, guard. The punishment for such a grave breach of protocol is severe." The guard remains unshaken. "I understand the severity of my actions, but I stand by my decision. The information that human possessed was crucial and will aid our city in the long run." "How do you know this?" "I was told by the webs, the Song of Loth, sung to me." The court deliberates among themselves for a moment before the matron speaks again. "We will take your actions into consideration. However, you will be demoted and sent to the mines for the next 4 months as a punishment." The guard bows her head in acceptance. "I understand and accept this punishment." The secret taker is led away.